and that was okay. I can do timing, but then it was the plotting and everything. I mean, I'm good at grass, but if you don't know what to plot, you can't do the grass. And anyway, since I was behind everybody else, he stopped me and said, go onto the graph before I'd finished doing all my readings. He was like, stop, do the graph now. And he was quite an unhelpful teacher because he didn't notice I was lost at all. No. So anyway, after I'd finished physics, feeling a bit overwhelmed, it was a good thing I had art next. My next lesson was art, because I'm taking biology, chemistry, art and physics as an AS, not going on to the A2, because I think otherwise my brain would have exploded. So for art, we went outside, and it was quite hot and sunny that day, but we were undercover like this wooden gazebo thing. And anyway, the art teacher, Mrs. Muir, told us that we had to record the sense of place of the courtyard, which was quite nice actually. So she said, like, do stuff that people might recognise it was from the courtyard, or it's sort of like a map of the courtyard, but an artistic map. So I drew some benches which were there because it was mainly an eating space, that was its main purpose, and glued some flowers to a piece of paper and sellotaped some rocks to a piece of paper. So that was fun. And then anyway, after we'd finished that lesson, she gave us some sketchbooks to take home, and then as everybody else was sort of filing off, I asked her, because I was new to the school, where I'm supposed to eat lunch, because it was lunch break then. And she said, oh, if you've got a pack up, you eat right here in the courtyard. So I thought, okay. She said everybody eats here in the courtyard. So I went and sat down at one of the benches, and then she left and I was left all on my own. And then I was surprised because everybody who eats in the courtyard was actually all of the people from the school who were probably also there for a school taster day. So not the sixth formers, smaller people, like 12-year-olds. But the thing was, as I was sitting there eating my soup in a flask, mine was the only table that wasn't occupied. None of the 12-year-olds came and sat with me. They sort of just ignored me. I was like, I must be in the wrong place. All the sixth formers must be somewhere else. But all of the school people in their uniforms just ignored me and acted like I wasn't there and nobody came to sit with me. So then I was feeling a bit left out. So then I only took 15 minutes to eat my lunch, and you get like an hour for lunchtime. So I went off to a bit of a wander, found the library, read a bit of Diana Wynne-Jones for 5 minutes. Then I went off back towards the common room. And apparently, while I'd been gone, I'd missed a party. Apparently in lunch they'd had a party with brownies, and they were just packing away. So anyway, after I'd chatted for a bit, then I went on to chemistry. Chemistry with Mr. Cook, and that was quite nice. We were reacting magnesium with hydrochloric acid. Nobody knows what that is. Probably I do. So anyway, all the usual stuff. Measure out the hydrochloric acid, weigh the magnesium, drop the magnesium in, get it with a bung, measure the hydrogen gas coming out with a gas cylinder. So we got 15 minutes into that lesson when the fire alarm rang. So the fire alarm went, and the teacher said, wait 5 seconds. And then he went, okay, everybody out, because it's really fire. So we all filed out, we all went out the fire exit, and I was sort of excited because I've never been in a fire drill or anything before. I've never been in an actual thing, I don't know what was happening. So we went down the steps in the fire escape, and behind the school there's like this wide expanse of grass with like trees at the back. So we went out on that, and we all had to line up in our groups. So like I was in group 2, so there was group 1 there, and then there was group 2 and group 3 and group 4 and so on. So we lined up in our groups. And then the adults came along and said we had to line up in alphabetical order in our groups. So we all shuffled around so that we were in alphabetical order. And then he came along with his clipboard and called out our names. And he didn't even call out our names in alphabetical order. He didn't. We were standing in alphabetical order, but he didn't call out our names in alphabetical order, so I don't know why he did that. And then they basically just left us alone though. And you got to remember, it was a hot day. The sun was like shining down, and I was starting to feel a little hot and bothered because I hadn't brought a sun hat because I was sort of all dressed up because you have to be smart because it's grammar school. And it so happened that because we were in alphabetical order, this meant that there was a boy in front of me and there was a boy behind me as well. Okay? So the teachers sort of just floated around like dementors, sort of. And then I said, "Oh, I'm so hot," because I didn't have a sun hat or anything. And then the boy in front of me, he went, "She said I was hot." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I said I was hot because of the sun, you know." And he said, "She said I was hot." So I just ignored him. And then could still hear the fire alarm just going off really faintly in the distance. And I had no idea what to do. I didn't know why we were just standing here. I thought we were going to be made to do something, you know. But we were just standing there in our lines. So I got a bit bored. So I quietly got off my backpack and got out my little notepad and started to doodle. So there I was doodling, and then the boy behind me, he went, "Oh, look at that! Look at that! That's cool. Can I see some of your other drawings?" So I went, "Oh, why not?" So got my drawing book and showed him some, and I also showed him in my notepad there was this little flip animation, you know, like a flip book, and he flipped through this and he was like, "Oh, I love flip books! I love flip books!" Oh, and then he was like, "Oh, look," and he was going off to his mate in group 3, so it was over there. He's going, "Oh, look at this," and then the teachers who were wafting around go, "Shh, no talking," and I was like, so I got my book back and then I was doodling, and then the boy behind me is called Az. He went, "Draw my hand, please draw my hand." So I went, "Okay," because it's something to do, isn't it? I didn't know that you shouldn't really be drawn into this sort of stuff. So I drew his hand, and while I'm drawing, as he's going, "That is my hand. That's basically my hand." And then the boy in front of me is going, "She said I'm not." And I'm going, "No, I did not." And then the boy in the other line says, "Oh, draw a snail. And the teachers go, "Be quiet." So he goes, draw a snail. And then Az says, "Oh, please draw my face. And then it was really weird. Somebody else in the line said, "Make sure to colour it in black," because Az looked sort of Asian. I don't know. He was about as dark as me. And I was like, and then Az was going, "If you don't draw me, you're being racist." So I thought that was a bit odd. And it's a bit odd because they're all insulting each other with these smiles on their face like they're just joking. Like it's all right. Because I'm not used to this stuff. So anyway, I started drawing a snail for this other guy. And I said, he asked first. I was being nonplussed. So I drew a snail. And then the teachers said, "Okay, if you want to, you can sit down now." So we all sat down. And then Az said, "Oh, draw my face and draw my friend." And the boy in front of me said, "She said I was hot. She said I was hot, Ad. She said I was hot." So then I said, okay, I'll draw you as and your friend. So I sat them down to draw them, and the teacher was going, shh, and the sun's bearing down, and the boy in front of me is going, she said I'm hot. So then I'm drawing, and Az is just like constantly talking, and then Az says, he's replying to the boy in front of me, he's going, yeah, you said he was hot and you pinched his bottom. And then the boy in front of me is going, yeah, she said I was hot. And then I was like, okay, I'm not drawing anybody. And they're like, no, don't read it. And then the boy in front of me is going, no, I'll be quiet. And the teachers go, shh. And they're going, no, please draw me. And the other guy who has wanted me to draw as well is going, I didn't say anything, please draw me. And I'm like, I'm just drawing my dragon. So I was a bit weirded out by that whole exchange, and also a bit hot and bothered. But then we got to go back to our classroom, but we didn't get to finish our chemistry experiment because that took about 20 minutes. So we did what we could, and then we left for biology. Well, I did. I went back to biology. So in biology it was microscopes. We got to put iodine solution on a banana and look at it through a microscope, basically, which was quite fun. And then I went home, basically. But that was my first day at the school, at the sixth form that I'm hopefully going to. So, bye.